I gotta get mine. Yeah, you gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. And a house. You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. 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 You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, and I'm here with Leroy McMath, owner of the WBA League. We're going to talk about a health and financial opportunity that's available to the owners of the WBA teams and to the players who are part of the WBA teams. And this is a twofold opportunity. One, of course, is to make sure that the players are healthy, not only through the season, but all through their lives. And we're talking about physical health and emotional health, as well as financial health. This is a very unique opportunity in which both the teams, the team owners, and the players are going to have a financial opportunity to create an additional profit center. This will be an income stream that's a 12-month season. This isn't a 2.5-month season for the income stream. This is a 12-month season. This is a lifetime income stream that will grow. If it's worked properly, it'll grow every month and grow every year. Now, I'm very, very proud of my personal association with Leroy because, to my knowledge, he is the only professional league owner and professional team owner that understands extra profit centers for the players and extra profit centers for the owners. And my hat's off to Leroy, and I want to throw this to Leroy before we get into the details and give his feelings on this opportunity.
Hi, I'm Leroy McMath, president of the WBA, and I'd like to thank Dr. Wallach, first off, and American Longevity, for thinking enough of our professional league to become a partner with us. And indeed, we look at this as a partnership with the owners, the players, and the communities. And one of the things that we have hoped to achieve with our league is to position ourselves whereas we're not just another professional sports playing in the community. We want to have more of an impact. Having the opportunity to partner up with American Longevity, I think that's great for professional sports. It's great for the WBA because, as we know, so many questions are always asked when you're dealing with minor league sports. What makes you different from everyone else? Well, I think what makes us different is the fact that we have one of the world's largest medical companies behind us and one of the greatest doctors that you can have involved with your organization as a supporter and a person that's believing what we're doing. And with that, I think it gives us motivation to be stronger and to get our message out to our players, to our community. And that's what we're trying to relay to our owners right now. We want everyone to understand that, our league is here to stay because we're going to see to it that our owners are healthy, their players are healthy, and their staff is healthy.
Well, thank you, Leroy. And again, I want to compliment you for your forward thinking. And certainly American Longevity and myself, we're very, very proud of our association with you personally and the league and the other team owners and the players. And I want to start out by talking about the health benefits of the products, and then we'll get into the business part second. One of the things we know is that each year in America, young athletes under the age of 35 drop dead suddenly, either during play, during training, or even after training, going home and dying. It's really a tragic thing, and they die, unfortunately, from a very simple preventable problem. And that is they sweat a lot, more than librarians for sure, and I think basketball players sweat more than any other type of athlete. And as a result, they lose a lot of nutrients through their sweat. Sweat is not just water. It's a soup that contains all these essential nutrients. And the first thing that happens when they get minor levels of deficiencies of minerals or vitamins or amino acids or fatty acids, a player will begin to have emotional problems and be unruly and not coachable much anymore. They might get depressed, start fighting with the fans or their other teammates or players on the other team. Minor things would normally just make them smile will set them off when they have these deficiencies. And so it is something you can still keep the aggressiveness of a player without them being emotionally unstable by making sure they have all their nutrients. The next thing that happens when you get a moderate deficiency of the minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids, they start getting a breakdown of their cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, bones, muscles, other organs of the body have high rate of other diseases, and you can name many, many players who fall into this category. Everything from members of the L.A. Lakers dream team who should have won everything, but they didn't win the championship. They lost it to the Detroit, Detroit Pistons. I mean, they weren't much of a team compared with the dream team in the L.A., and yet they whooped them because they didn't have the emotional stamina. Although they had the horsepower, they couldn't put it all together and make that winning team. I believe it's because they had these nutritional deficiencies. Also, you have big players like Shaquille O'Neal, Theo Ratliff, who begin to break down physically because of these deficiencies, and probably an extreme example would be Theo Ratliff. His career was ended, and make a long story short, he overheard a conversation between the now commissioner of the WBA, Mike Glenn, and another player in the Hawks locker room as he was literally emptying his locker out to end his career. And he heard them talking about a nutrition program that rebuilds degenerative joints. And Theo asked him, is it possible that this could help him? And, of course, Mike said yes and kind of coached him along and helped him get on the basic program. Plus, we created a energy drink that has 138 nutrients in it to replace what he was sweating out instead of Gatorade that has 3 nutrients in it and sugar and yellow dye number 5. When you have just a minute or so in a timeout, when you run over to the sidelines, you want to have a sports drink that has 138 nutrients or 3 to replace what you're sweating out. And to make a long story short, I think everybody knows Theo's story where he has come back in the last couple of years, has been one of the top defensive players. He's been the shot blocking champion for the NBA and is just a great young man, doesn't do drugs. He's a great family man, very level-headed player, a great player. He recently signed a $42 million contract with the Portland Trail Blazers, and teams don't sign you for multi-million-dollar contracts if they think you're physically impaired. Here's a case where we actually were able to rebuild completely a physically broken down player who still had the positive optimism, but physically he was broken down. And then thirdly, you get the really bad tragedies where you get sudden deaths like Reggie Lewis and Corey Stringer and players of that nature. Brian Maxwell, great runner, Jim Fix and people of this type, Flojo. And it's just awful that these wonderful world-class players die suddenly from a simple nutritional deficiency. It's totally preventable by making sure they have these things. When you're an owner of a team, you have a huge investment in time, money, and energy and emotions in a player. You're sort of a quasi-parent. In many cases, you become an adoptive parent of these players, and you hate to see them not fulfill their career as best as they can. And by providing an opportunity for them to get involved in this nutritional program, you're going to allow them to focus on their talents as opposed to focusing on sore joints, sore backs, emotional problems, worrying about muscles and bones. Now, I'm going to throw this to you because you've been a player as well, involved with college and university sports as well as professional sports. So I'm sure you have a lot to add to that, Leroy.
That is so true. Myself playing, growing up in high school and college and even participating in professional camps, and I found myself tired, unable to compete at the end of the day sometimes, and not knowing because I was never educated as an individual.
Did you ever have to ice your knees after a game?
A lot. I had to ice my knees. I had to sometimes sleep just to get rest. And, it was a lot of things, but we were not educated. We were just taught to go out, go play. And when you finish, get you something to eat, come back tomorrow and play. And that's what we want to get away. We really want to get away from that. The young people we bring into our organization, we want to educate them because there's so many horror stories, and I feel that if we educate people to show them that our mission is to do more than just play basketball, it's to help the people make themselves better and their family and their friends. And I think that once we achieve that goal, then people are going to understand and you're going to find fewer and fewer accidents that are preventable.
We're exactly right. And thank you so much, Leroy, for sharing that player's perspective. I know that the owners and the players will appreciate that. The next thing we want to talk about is the financial opportunities here for the league and the teams and the players and everybody associated with them, including the coaches and the trainers and the community. We don't want to leave the community out. This is a health and financial benefit to the community, too. And as I said earlier, this is a 12-month and a lifetime opportunity. This is not just a 2.5-month, a year thing, because this income stream will grow. And we have a lot of experience with radio stations. We're now moving into national and international TV. Kind of excited about that new opportunity. We have a lot of experience with nonprofit organizations as well as with-profit, for-profit organizations. Anybody who has any brains knows you need multiple income streams to be successful, whether you're an owner or a player or a small businessman in a community that's supporting the WBA teams. And so this is a real financial opportunity. Again, we're a multi-million-dollar corporation. This year we're 8 years old. And the way that we envision setting this up is for the teams to be sponsored by the league. And then each team will sponsor each of their players, and then the players will go to their friends and families and community that's supporting them and let everybody know about the opportunity to participate in health and the opportunity for income streams and tax breaks and all this kind of stuff. Again, what this is going to do is give another profit center. This will not take away from any other profit center that the league and the teams and the players have. This is just another, I'd say, fairly passive. It's not 100% passive, but it's 90% passive to generate another income stream to support everybody's efforts. There's nothing worse than running out of money halfway through the season. There's nothing worse than having a financial problem at the beginning of the season. And certainly for this year, it's going to be great. But for subsequent years, where you have kind of a real long-term run at this thing, this is going to be a financially supporting, financially stabilizing relationship and marriage between American Longevity and the WBA and Leroy and the other team owners and the players and, again, the communities. And how this works is that this is, in fact, network marketing. It's also called multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call it. But it's a very legitimate type of business. You think about somebody who's as wealthy as Donald Trump, and Johnny Carson asked Donald Trump, now, if all your income went away, Donald, what would you do for income? He said, man, I'd get into network marketing. He says, for just a few dollars, you can make millions. And that's true. To become a business owner with American Longevity, to set up your business with American Longevity through the WBA and the team owners and the players is a very simple thing. To pay $10, and after a year or two, you can be making $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month. We have people doing that now, and these people are children of sharecroppers. They're financially broke people living in vans, and within 2 years, they're making $300,000 a year and more. And so we know that some people in the community are going to see this opportunity and take it and run with it. You get an enormous amount of tax advantages, which normally players don't have. Team owners may or may not have. It's a very simple thing to use a product that's going to help the health of your commodity. And the commodity for the team owners is the player. You do not want to invest time and money and energy and hope into these young players and have them physically break down or emotionally break down when you could have prevented that for a few bucks a day. And at this point, before we finish and give more details of the business opportunity, I want to throw this over to Leroy and let him give the league and the team owner's perspective on the relationship from a business standpoint between the WBA and American Longevity.
Before I go right into that, I would like to mention one other thing, Dr. Wallach. It's so true. Network marketing is a great way to go, especially when, the athletes that we deal with, they don't have time to work an 8-to-5 job, okay? They are independent business people. They're entrepreneurs. And, if we educate ourselves and educate them on other ways, because, playing sports, you have to have life after basketball, okay? And this is a perfect way. When I talked with Theo, when we first started discussing the idea and the business opportunities when I was at his home, I found it so interesting because here, I sat back and I said, well, here it is a young man who's making $30-40 million. And here he is talking about a network opportunity with sports for his friends he invited in. And that caught my attention because I really wanted to see what he was talking about.
I remember that meeting at his home. We had about 45 people there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I sat back and I said, well, if this is good enough for Theo, It's definitely good enough for our organization and myself. And with that, I became a supporter, and it's something that I wanted to share with the owners, because I feel that if I give something to 100 athletes, and if 2 just pick it up and run with it, then I've done something other than give them an opportunity to play basketball. And when you look at the people that we have involved with our league, we have a family organization. Mike Glenn, who is the commissioner, he's very involved with Rebound FX, American Longevity. He's teaching it daily to our owners, to his friends, to the community. Theo Rattler, Phil Oliver, the health consultant for the league as well as American Longevity. And I think we have a great family, a really great family. I think we have a great business opportunity. And it's one that we're going to take advantage of, and we're going to continue to build and introduce it to other organizations. I mean, we have no problem with sharing our wealth with the CBA or any other league, because when you look at it, the league shouldn't be in competition. We all have a goal to make sure that we have healthy athletes and that we have healthy organization. I don't want to see any other league not be successful. So I think that once they hear our message and see what we're doing together, Rebound FX, American Longevity, and Dr. Wallach, and all of the associates that are affiliated, then I think it's going to open up a lot of doors worldwide. People are going to see that, we are a true and a strong organization that's only going to get stronger.
Absolutely. I think you hit something that's really, really good to point out to the owners and the players. This isn't just for basketball players. If they have friends who are football players or hockey players or baseball players or boxers, if they have a pastor who needs to make some extra income, they have a brother or an old college roommate who needs an extra income stream, and that leads into one of the great benefits of network marketing. This is going to bring income into the community that the team is housed in from all over the United States and all over the world, because this opportunity is in all the 50 United States. We're in 12 countries right now, and it's amazing when a team player, for instance, or a team owner would sign up an old college roommate or a brother in another state. They sign some people up there who might have a brother or a sister or a mom in another state who has a friend in Japan or a friend in Australia, and they sign them up. So the income is going to flow from all over the world to you, the WBA, the team owners, and the players, and the community. Human beings are human beings, Leroy. And if they have an extra $100 in their pocket, they're going to spend it in the community they live in. And so that's good for everybody. Again, gives you a 12-month financial season instead of a 2.5-month financial season. And if you just insert a little bit of energy into it, a half hour a day, an hour every other day or so, you can grow this thing and make an enormous amount of money, have some great tax breaks, get a seamless cash flow that just goes on and on forever for an initial investment of $10. And so I would really encourage the owners and the players and members of the community, everything from the Chamber of Commerce, the Junior Chamber of Commerce, small business owners, big business owners, entrepreneurs, students, anybody. This is a great thing for students who don't have a lot of money. And for $10, they can start their own business and get some great tax breaks. We'll teach them how this stuff works. Again, without going into the details of the compensation plan, just tell you that as people are signed up all over the United States and all over the world, the league and the owners and the teams and the players will get a piece of every sale. And when you reach the highest level of leadership, the highest sales level, every distributor in the company, of which there's like 300,000 right now, you will get a piece of the sales of every one of these people. When you're what we call a triple diamond, which is our highest level of sales success, and we've had people do it in 14 months, you get to share in the monthly income, worldwide income of the whole company. And so there's really some value here, and certainly I'll be happy to sit down with each of the team owners and each of the players. I know we're going to give them group presentations, but I'll be happy to coach and mentor each one of them. I look at them as brothers and sisters, as you say, Leroy, a very great family, the WBA family. And this is an opportunity for everybody. It's a win-win-win-win situation. And again, I'm very, very proud of our association with the WBA, because I think you're the only group smart enough to see this opportunity. You know, where else can you make $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month within a couple of years for a $10 investment? I don't see that anyplace else.
Yes, I agree. Once again, I really appreciate our league having the opportunity to grow financially and mentally and, health-wise. I mean, it's really an honor. We're excited. And not only that, I think it's a great great partnership, and I really think it's good that, we must share with our owners and players. They should know that American Longevity and yourself is also a team owner. So
yes, we're very proud of that. Go Cleveland Magic.
Yeah, it's Cleveland Magic. So that's really great because, they have the opportunity to work with the Cleveland Magic. I guess you kind of set an example.
Exactly. One of the reasons that we wanted to do this, and we appreciate the opportunity to own a team with the WBA, is to set the example, just like you're pointing out, Leroy. We want to show people how this works. We want to show the owners, and we want to show the players how this works. And we're going to treat everybody equally. And so if there's some player on another team that wants to get more information more urgently than somebody on our own team, we're going to give them that time because we're for the whole league, we're for all the owners, we're for all the players. Once we're on the floor, though, we're going to fight you, right? We're going to do that full court press on the floor. But outside, we're a big family, and we're going to do everything we can to support everybody being successful. And I do want to point out one thing. Most other network marketing companies, for the top people to qualify each month and get a check, they've got to spend anywhere from $1,000 to $4 or $5 or $8 or $10, sometimes $25,000 to get into the top money earnings. For us, to begin with, you just have to qualify at $100. You're getting product for that. You're not just throwing money away. You're actually getting your Rebound FX for yourself and the team and the players. And that gives you another business, another Schedule C, so that you can get more tax breaks that you might not have as a team owner. Additionally, what happens here is that the top qualification to get the most money when you're triple diamond and you can be making $100,000 a month, you only have to qualify at $300. That's our maximum qualification, $300. I don't think the league or the team owners or the players can argue about that because you only pay $100 to begin with to qualify and get a check. What if you only get a $50 check? Well, that means that your cost for your products is $50 instead of $100. Well, what if you get a $200 check? Well, then you're $100 to the good. And when you get up to the next stage, up to the $300, everything else above that is cream. These young men in this business, the players and the owners, young women, I have to throw the young women in too, when they go to the community and they offer an extra income stream to a dry cleaner owner or somebody who has a shoe repair place or somebody who changes oil like a Jiffy Lube owner or somebody who owns a car wash or somebody who's an entrepreneur and they're throwing newspapers in the morning, somebody who may have a little home business where they're repairing small engines or motors or electric appliances out of their basement, anything that people do to make that extra $500 a month. This is another thing for them. Multiple income streams is the answer to financial survival. So many people are getting laid off. Little businesses are hanging on by their fingernails because as military shuts down or they get shipped off to a war zone, that income stops in that little town because those soldiers aren't there spending money anymore. If the jobs get shipped off to India and Mexico, the manufacturing, the IT jobs, that means that income stream stops for those small businesses. Don't wait till those things happen. You want to get your income streams built up so you have a safety net. And it's a lot of fun to help people with their health and their financial situation. I can't think of anybody who wouldn't like another $1,000 a month.
I don't think I know too many people that wouldn't accept $1,000. And it's so true because I can identify to that myself. Being in the music business for over 15 years, okay, I made lots of money. Record sales, it's some of the quickest money. Some days we may make $20,000, some days we make $100,000, and you have some days you make $1. But you have to learn to manage your finance. And not only that, I had a situation with myself, with my business, a few years back where, one of my distributors filed a bankruptcy that caused my company, we lost close to $4 million because
Ouch.
All of our revenue was based on this, our company paying bills and things. 80% was based on this company.
That one person or one company.
One company paying us. So, some years ago, I made the decision as a person, as a businessman, where, hey, look, there have to be other things, real estate, basketball, and I was looking for other opportunities, things that I was comfortable being involved in. And I think that being involved with Rebound FX, American Longevity, is just great for myself and for the owners because a lot of the owners are very similar to myself. It's very diverse business people, and they're smart. They're always looking for a way to survive. And I'm sure everyone has heard the horror story. You can have 30 million today, and it can be gone tomorrow. But if we create a portfolio and have different revenue streams. Okay, it can be $5,000 a month over here, it can be $500 here. But if we work at it and eventually, then we will set ourselves up and we will set our athletes up and the community up, once they see how it works, to be very, very secure in their future. And it will help open up doors to make sure that their kids are secure and everyone.
Well, this is a willable business. Since you brought up kids, Leroy, this is a willable business. There's a certain procedure to go through to put this in your trust, your will, so that if something happens to you, this can go to your spouse, or surviving spouse, or your kids. And we'll mentor them and coach them and make sure that they do everything that they need to keep that income stream going. And American Longevity, we're a family too, and we do everything possible to make sure that our distributorship owners, who are $10 businesses, get every opportunity and every penny that's due them. As people get more and more involved, we're going to find that they're going to be excited about this because it is another income stream that's going to help support them in every endeavor of life they have. And it is willable. It is residual. It's much more residual because, when you're selling a soft drink at a basketball game, at the end of the season, how many more of those soft drinks do you sell at a basketball game until the next year? 0. Whereas this goes on and on and on and on for 12 months out of every year. And that's the exciting part to me. Once you put in the energy to build this, it's a growing residual income.
I'm glad you touched on that because I don't want to go without stressing Rebound FX is our drink. Okay, it's the WBA drink. Theo introduced the drink to our league. It's a great product, and it makes me feel good as a league executive to go to a game and to know that we have our own drink, that we're going to benefit as the players use it, as the people decide to purchase it, because it's like we need to recycle the money, the revenue back into our team ownership so that they can continue to be strong. Because, one of the things that we looked at very strongly was why support a product that do not support you,
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to throw one more thing in here, then I'm going to shut up, Leroy. I think we've probably covered most things. The players, and of course, you like to think that there's a certain amount of talent in all the players who are going to wind up in the NBA. They want to be their best. Right. And if they want to be their best, if they want to shine, if they want to be 110% on that floor, they know there's scouts out there in that audience. They want to perform stronger by the last whistle than they did when they started in the game. And they do that by making sure they're replacing all these nutrients they're sweating out with 138 nutrients in that Rebound FX. They take the basic 90 essential nutrients on a regular basis. I personally, I'm 65 years old. I take it twice a day myself without fail. I've been doing this since 1978. I do a lot of hard physical labor because my wife makes me do it. And if you are your very best physically and emotionally, you're more likely to get tapped by that scout than if, he was doing great for that first half, then he wore out by the third quarter.
Yeah.
And they want somebody who's going to be stronger and stronger and stronger every minute that game goes on, more alert, smarter, able to quickly take advantage of a situation. Mm-hmm. And that's what these products will do for them. They're tough. They have a lot of stamina. They can rebound from injuries quickly. Instead of being out for 6 weeks, they'll be out for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. And this is what these products will do. It's just going to make them Iron Men. It's going to make them tough. And they're going to be injury resistant. They're going to be breakdown resistant. And they're going to be good team players.
Gotta get yours, I gotta get mine. And a house, you gotta get yours, I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours, I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours, I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours, I gotta get mine.